This is the 1980 Soviet Union hockey team,
CCCP.
and they are simply unstoppable.
Soviet
Despite
Union
being
hockey
banned from playing in the NHL by the Soviet government,
banned.
they have dominated hockey.
Hold on, somebody got to let me know in the comments. Why was they banned? The Soviet Union. So that means all the Soviet Union countries. That's Russia, all these other countries. Okay.
At the international level. Having won 4 consecutive gold
Wow.
medals, they stand as the undeniable
4?
favorites to seize yet another gold at the 1980 Winter Olympics. For years, the NHL's very best couldn't beat them, and that made them undeniably the greatest hockey team in the world. But on February 22nd, 1980, a group of amateur college kids from the States would have the opportunity to shock the entire world
What you
and
mean?
pull off a miracle.
Amateur.
For the 1980 Winter Olympic Games, there was a scrimmage between Team USA and the Soviets. That game ended with the Soviets dominating the Americans 10-3. Now, this score was expected, because
10-3.
during this time,
Hold
the
on.
Olympics weren't filled with dream teams like
Hold on. 10-3. Hold on. Was this team? Oh, y'all gotta let me know in the comments. Who was on this team?
For the 1980 Winter Olympic Games, there was a scrimmage between Team USA and the Soviets.
Right.
That game ended with the Soviets dominating the Americans 10-3. Now, this score was expected, because during this time, the Olympics weren't filled with dream teams like they are today. Back then, the Olympics only permitted amateur athletes to compete, so since the Soviets were
Wow.
prohibited from playing in the NHL, they were considered eligible to participate in the Olympics. On the other side, this meant that Team USA and other countries weren't filled with NHL superstars like they are today.
Wow.
That wasn't the reason why the Soviets were so dominant. They were more than capable of playing in the NHL. A year before these Olympic Games, the Soviets were set to face an NHL All-Star team in something called the Challenge Cup. The Challenge Cup replaced the 1979 All-Star Game, and there were 3 games that were supposed to take place at Madison Square Garden that were meant to showcase the league at the expense of the Soviets. Except, that's not how it went down at all. The All-Stars won Game 1, but the Soviets bounced back with consecutive wins that included a 6-0 blowout in the deciding game over the All-Stars. A team that featured over 20 future Hall of Famers on their roster
What?
got absolutely pumped by the Soviets. No one could touch their skill, but more importantly, the Soviets knew how to play together better than any team in the world. The mix of creativity and speed, combined with the fact that this Soviet team had been playing together for years, just made them too difficult to stop. Meanwhile, the United States Olympic team was very different from the...
Hold on. So, okay. So when they won the 4 consecutive before this year, they was playing against amateurs, but like before. Why did the USA not let the good players play? Like, I don't get that. Why the fuck they was doing that? Like, I know Guy Lafleur was there then. Like, I know Guy Lafleur was there. This is 1981.
Powerhouse Soviets. The head coach of Team USA was a man named Herb Brooks. Brooks was the best college hockey coach in America. His Minnesota Golden Gophers just captured their 3rd NCAA championship in 6 years, and he knew exactly how he wanted to build this team from the start. For years, the NHL and other nations just sent their best or all-star teams to try and beat the Soviets. But Herb wanted to change that. From the start, he wasn't looking for the best players. Instead, he was looking for the right players. That's why he hand-selected his team on the very first day of tryouts. Herb was an old-school coach, but everything he did was with intention. USA starting goaltender Jim Craig even said that Herb had a character in mind of who he wanted. He just had this unique ability to see talent inside of people and bring them to a level that they weren't even capable of imagining.
Good coach.
To prepare for these Olympic Games, Herb decided to take the United States team on a 61-game tour. In a matchup against Norway, the Americans played rather poorly and tied Norway 3-3. Coach Brooks was furious by the team's performance and overall effort in that game. So after, he told all the players to stay on the ice and skated them into the ground for an extra hour. The lesson that he wanted to send was, if you don't respect your opponents and play hard, you won't be successful, especially against the Russians. Herb knew how to motivate his players and purposely made them angry. If they all hated him, Brooks reasoned that they would work together to prove him wrong. Some examples included Brooks calling Rob McClanahan a cake eater because he came from a wealthy suburb of St. Paul.
Cake eater is crazy. I never even heard that before. A cake eater? Yo, he was trying to make
also
them.
regularly
He was trying to
put
bring
down the
something
captain
out
Mike
of.
Eruzione in front of the team to purposely rile them up. What may seem like a crazy coaching tactic in today's game was absolutely instrumental in how Herb wanted to morph the mentality of this team. But Brooks' most famous ploy came after the demoralizing 10-3 loss to the Soviets in the final exhibition game. Jim Craig was the goalie in that game, and Brooks told Craig that he made a mistake in playing him. Brooks said to Craig that he looked tired and he clearly had lost an edge. After that, Craig snapped and became dead set on never losing again in a USA uniform.
Hold on, them face masks. Hold on. Is they face mask still like that today? Cause that's a hard. I don't think it's like a Freddy face mask. That face mask is hard. But do they still use them face masks today?
And became dead set on never losing again in a USA uniform. What would follow would be a fantastic run for Team USA. After going 4-0-1 in their pool, Team USA took the ice against the dominant Soviets on February 22nd, 1980. The winner of this game would go on to the gold medal. Now, this game was bigger than just hockey. Of course, it was the Olympics, but in the 80s, the tension of the Cold War between the United States and Russia were extremely high. So a win here for either nation would mean a lot more than just winning a hockey game. For the States to beat the Russians...
Bro, somebody got to answer that in my comments. Why the hell do the USA not let their good players play in this time? Like, in this era? Like, what the...
A miracle. But Herb Brooks and Team USA prepared for this exact moment. In their play, the US players adopted passing techniques developed by the Soviets for the larger international rink. But they also adopted the rough checking style that was known to throw off the Soviets. Combine that with countless hours of skating drills and psychological antics, the States were ready for this moment both physically and mentally. Like every other game that the Americans played in Lake Placid, the US team fell behind early and went down 1-0 to the Soviets. For any other team filled with young college kids, this may have been enough to rattle them mentally early on. But not this team. The States would bounce back right away, and forward Buzz Schneider would tie it back up with a slap shot. The Soviets would respond minutes later, and it seemed like the States would go into the second, only down by 1. Going up against the Soviets, this would be considered a win. But then the game took a wild turn.
Oh!
This is when the energy of the game completely shifted. With the Soviets up 2-1 in the dying seconds of the first, the States would take a clapper the length of the ice, and Soviet goaltender Vladislav Tretiak coughs up a juicy rebound for Mark Johnson to score with 1 second remaining.
That was nice. I ain't even gonna lie. That is crazy.
Remaining on the clock. This
like he got him from different colleges or his Minnesota, because he was coaching in Minnesota. So where did he exactly get him from? Like what players? I didn't know what players play on this team, because like
not only did it show that the greatest goaltender and team on earth was human, but it injected even more belief into Team USA. In the second period, the irritated Soviets came out with their backup Vladimir Mishkin and turned up the attack. This switch in net was another sign that this US team had planted the seed of doubt in the Soviets. Despite this doubt looming over the Soviets though, they dominated the play in the second period, outshooting the States 12-2 and taking a 3-2 lead. If it wasn't for goaltender Jim Craig, this game would have been a complete blowout. Now, the States only have 20...
Hold on. Did he say they shot it 12 times to USA 2 times? That's what he just said? I don't think if I heard him correctly. Did he say they shot the puck 12 times? And that nigga only allowed 1. He's the greatest
shooting the States
goalie of all time.
12-2 and taking a 3-2 lead. If it wasn't for goaltender Jim Craig,
he the best
this game would have been a complete blowout. Now, the States only have 20 minutes to beat the best hockey team in the world. For years, no one has been able to keep up with the speed of the Russians and skate with them for an entire game. But again, this States team is built different. Nearly 9 minutes into the period, the US took advantage of a Soviet penalty and tied the game again, making it 3-3. About a minute and a half later, Captain Mike Eruzione would have a chance to completely change the complexion of the game.
Well, bro, that shit got me excited just now. Boy, I ain't gonna lie. Hold on, he running on ice. Hold on, he was running on ice. Hold on, hey, I ain't gonna lie. This is a great moment. I ain't gonna lie. That's crazy. I never heard about this. I ain't gonna lie. This is good. This is
change the complexion of the game.
This is crazy. I want to know these players on his team, though. I want to know the names. Rugioni. Michael Rugioni. He was running on ice, bro. Look at him, bro. What?
first time in the game, the Americans had the lead with exactly 10 minutes left. But these 10 minutes would feel like 10 hours for Team USA.
Bro,
As the seconds ticked down, the Soviets just kept coming at them in waves, but Jim Craig made save after save. After being chewed out by Herb Brooks just before the Olympics, Jim Craig had found another level to his game that Brooks knew he had. As the clock winds down and every chance gets turned away, we are on the verge of witnessing history. Right from the start, Coach Herb Brooks knew the team he wanted for this moment. For years, the NHL and other nations tried to send their best to beat the greatest team in the world, and they failed. But Herb didn't bring the best players. He brought the right ones. And at this very moment, a group of college kids are just seconds away from pulling off the greatest upset in sports history. If they played them 10 times, the Soviets might win 9. But not tonight. Tonight, Team USA becomes the greatest hockey team in the world.
They did it! I ain't gonna lie, I need to know who Mazzaroni is. Mazzaroni, however you say his name, the one that scored that last goal, I need his number, and I need his jersey number and name. I need that, because I'm going to get it. Bro, this is crazy. Like, this is crazy. College kids, amateurs, a college head coach went and beat the Russians. This don't happen, like, a lot. This didn't happen at all, actually. They won 4 consecutive. They went and got it done. Sometimes I be wishing I was alive and able to watch this live in real time. Because this look like it's magical. Like, that is crazy, bro. Imagine that. Imagine that. I want what that head coach. Let me know in the comments where that head coach at right now. Let me know where the head coach at. Like, how long did he coach from Minnesota? Let me know and stuff like that, bro. And let me know some of these players' names. So I'm trying to figure it out, bro. I want to know more about this, though. Because I want to know more about them Russians, though. I want to know more about them. For real, for real. But look, man, like, comment, subscribe, bro. Y'all like that my Wayne Gretzky video. Y'all like my Bobby Orr. Y'all like that my Guy Lafleur video. So more hockey coming for y'all, man. Look, I might do a hits video or a checking video. Because y'all like those fights videos. Y'all like those. So I'm going to do them for y'all. But look, man, like, comment, subscribe. Y'all want to see more videos like this? Hockey videos? Let me see y'all next one, man. No, man.